All right. Well, today we've got Gregg Bernstein with us. He's a seasoned expert in business development and in the hospitality industry. He's been working in the industry since 1995. He's got an illustrious career working with iconic brands like Four Seasons, Hyatt, Marriott, and Michelin-starred restaurants. I need to talk to you about Michelin-starred restaurants, that's for sure.
The food.
Yeah, even just like the atmosphere. But Gregg is the pioneer of Air Essentials. He works putting scents into places and adapting markets. He's working on leaving impressions on people. So we've got a bunch of scents here that he's going to have us, smell at some point and see if we can figure out what's what.
No pressure.
None.
Oh, no, all the pressure.
I'm sure it'll be pretty true to brand. You'll see what comes up.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Fantastic.
Good day. No problems
Thank you
here.
for having me here. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you sharing with others what we do and how we do it. So I'm grateful to be here. Appreciate the time.
Awesome. So can you just take us to the beginning on how did you get started in hospitality and bring me a little bit closer to when did Air Essentials become a part of it all?
So growing up in New York City, the family business was catering. And hospitality was just kind of always in our blood. Whenever we had big family functions, it was always centralized around food and hospitality and just making people feel good. So eventually, I ended up going to Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island, where I studied hotel and restaurant management. And then I also received a bachelor's in hospitality business management with an emphasis in marketing. And marketing was always a thing that kind of sparked my interest. So as I graduated Johnson & Wales, I had the opportunity to work for some great places and visit some great cities, working in places like you said, the Four Seasons in San Francisco on Market Street, and was working with the Marriott all through college in the banquets department, which was very close to home coming from catering. So as things progressed through the hospitality career, I ended up at a hotel in downtown Miami. And in that place, it was the first time that I had encountered this scent in the lobby. And people would walk in and they'd say, "Oh, it smells good in here." The problem was with that the company that we were using at the time, it was a very inconsistent experience. So out of nowhere, Mr. Spence Levy, who's the president of the company, walks in, and he's pitching me on incorporating this scent machine that can provide a consistent experience. Okay. And that he had these different scents that were really exclusive and unique and elevated and just smelled incredible. And he offered us a free demo, and we took him up on it, and kind of the rest is history. But that's really how it all started.
So you were interested in marketing. We talk about marketing a lot on the podcast and with guests. But when we think about marketing, or at least speaking for myself, my mind has never gone to scent. It's always gone to like putting something in front of people that you can see or giving you tangibles. But when you were first interested in marketing, was scent even on your radar, or and then when it did come on your radar, did you think this was a really serious thing? Did you dive right in, or were you a little skeptical? That's
an excellent question. So when I first started really getting interested in marketing, it was still when I was in college. And back in those days, in the late 90s, marketing was more print media.
Correct.
Marketing was more radio and television. So it's not like it is today where there's so much content and so many ways that you could reach your consumer. That being said, as I got introduced to scent and I saw the impression it had on the consumer and on the customers, and studies from places like these massive companies who I don't know if I could say the name of or not.
That's okay.
Did these studies where they had identical stores, one where they implemented a fragrance into it and one where there was no fragrance. And they proved that people were willing to spend more money in a scented store. People would spend more time in a scented store. People felt more comfortable and relaxed in a scented store. So all these studies started coming out, and there was proof of concept that this has an impact. And it makes sense because at the time, people put so much thought into how they're going to design their environment. But you put that scent in, and you see immediately the response from the consumer and the customer or the guest or whatever it is, and a reaction from it, a positive reaction from it.
It's an emotional reaction, right? That's essentially.
100%. So what studies have proven is that 75% of our emotions are based off of what we smell. So when we walk into an environment and it smells really nice, they have a higher value perception of that environment. Okay, they perceive the place as being nice and clean. So even if there's some scuff marks or somebody forgot to vacuum that day, if it smells really nice, their brain is being told, "Oh, this place is really nice and clean." But the most powerful thing is that you're creating a positive emotional association between the person and the environment they're in, and then also it's also tied to memory. So I don't know if you gentlemen have ever smelled something and it reminded you of something from your past, or
My wife. Every time I smell anything, I think about her, and I love her so much. She watches.
It's a smart man.
Yeah, well, let me throw this into it because, yes, 100%, but also on the negative side, I've been in places that smell horrible, and then I will never go back. And that's something I'm sure a lot of people resonate with, just a bad smell. But then if I drive by that place, I just look at it like, oh, that was that place that stunk, you know?
Correct.
And I 100% know the negative side of that. So with that in mind, I can completely agree with what you're saying. Is when you go into some place that smells really nice and it's like high level, 5-star, like all those things, those keywords ring bells when it smells right, you know?
Sure.
So, yeah.
And we even relate it to, I mean, you think about just on a personal level, if you're looking at someone and you find them extremely physically attractive visually, right? Or their sound of their voice sounds really soothing onto your ears. If, as you approach them, if there's some type of malodor to them or bad breath or something, it's almost instantly a turn off to them. And the same thing goes for your business. Why is he pointing at you?
No,
He's like, kick him to the curb.
No, I essentially was swiping them away. I didn't even realize what I did. But yeah, like you walk up, you're right. You walk up to someone, you get that. I mean, and we do it to ourselves too. Like,
Sure.
I mean, our what we do for a living, you know, being in the field and production, like you're driving home some days and you're just like,
Sure.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do
a long day, right? You're like, oh, wait a second. I need to go home and shower.
Isn't that the worst when you know you can smell yourself and you're like, man, I could smell myself. Other people must be running from me right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So it has a huge impact on how on people's emotions and how they react to either yourself personally, but from a business perspective and a marketing perspective, how they really have that emotional association and connection with the environment that they're in, whether it be a hotel, whether it be a retail store, whether it be a high-end condominium in downtown Tampa. Scent just has such an impact on them. It's really, I find it remarkable.
And what are some of the more common scents or blends or, you know, direction that a lot of companies go?
So that's one of the things that I love about working with Air Essentials is that we're a scent marketing and branding company. So our goal is not to just walk in there and make things smell amazing. Yes, that's, I guess, part of it. But a big part of it is also finding exactly what's important to the brand. So there are certain places, so there's FECs, family entertainment centers, or theme parks, where sometimes their goal is to increase food sales. So there's certain scents that will actually stimulate parts of the brain that will stimulate people's appetite. So you smell a smell.
Disney does things like that. You'll be in certain areas of the park, and there's different smells for whatever they want you to be going through.
I don't know if Disney does or does not do it. I've heard things too, but I can't confirm or deny that.
Fair, completely fair.
Sounds like you signed an NDA.
But that being said, I don't know. But that being said, there are different scents that will stimulate different emotions from human beings. It's not rocket science. I say it's neuroscience, right? So there's scents that will stimulate people's sexual arousal. There's scents that will stimulate citrus. It's very powerful in a retail environment. Okay. There's scents that make people stimulate their appetites. There's scents that people are just very familiar with. Like, so vanilla. Vanilla has been proven to be the #1 most loved scent. Not the most recognized scent, but the most loved scent. And the reason being is because scent is tied to memory. So there's actually notes and hints of vanilla in women's breast milk and baby powder. So for that reason, as human beings, the majority of us have a prior experience in a positive way with that scent of vanilla. So whenever we smell it, for whatever reason, the neuroscience behind it, we immediately start to feel comfortable and relaxed and have that nurturing feeling.
Wow. So I want to ask you this because I'm like very analytical and I measure impact on a scale of what I can see on graphs, right? How do you measure the impact on a business when you deliver a scent to them?
So that's a great question. So there's different ways. It's a lot easier depending on the business. It's going to be easier in certain businesses than others. And then obviously it's going to be a multi-pronged attack as far as the effects that it'll take, or as far as analyzing the data. So, for instance, if you have the same salesperson in the store every single day that the scent is there, then it's easy. But there has to be a universal kind of buy-in to what's going on. The scent can enhance the environment. The scent can make the customer feel more comfortable. The scent can make the customer feel more relaxed. They say that they'll spend up to 40% more time in the store. But as far as actually analyzing the data, that's usually on the back end of the company itself. Particularly in casinos, it's been proven that they will scent a specific area of the slot machines, and they have proven that that area of the slot machine increased its sales by X amount, 7%, 4%, 11%.
Crazy.
As compared to previous months in the same exact area. So when it's isolated to a small area like that compared to previous months, like a slot machine scenario, then it's a little bit easier to get those data analytics. When we're talking about retail stores or other places where there's different variables, there can be some challenges as far as measuring the exact consistency of the growth. However, that being said, you should see some type of return.
Okay. All of this, I mean, we weren't even rolling earlier when you and I had to actually stop the conversation when the coffee was getting here because we were about to go down a rabbit hole that I wanted to talk to you about, which was leaving an impression. So Dylan has brought this up multiple times, and we've talked about it on the podcast. How is it that you are connecting with potential clients and current clients in this area, just on a marketing perspective? How are you expanding your network and leaving impressions and garnering new business?
So for myself personally, it's really more of a boots on the ground kind of old school approach. I've joined a lot of associations. The HCHMA, the Hillsborough County Hotel Motel Association, has been instrumental in our success, and definitely Visit Tampa Bay has been huge in helping us out and introducing us to clients.
Shout out Visit Tampa Bay.
Shout out Visit Tampa Bay. Love you guys.
Yes.
Santiago, Maggie, everybody in the team.
Maggie, love you, Maggie.
Yes.
It's more importantly is there's really no business that cannot benefit from incorporating scent into the program. So whether it's the zoo, whether you're looking to eliminate malodor, so there's certain places they have a trash room, or there's places where there's just malodor from animals or dogs or whatever it is, or you're looking to make that great first impression. There's really no business that can't that does not benefit. So for that reason, it's kind of like a lot of days I'll go downtown Tampa and I'll literally go door to door to door to door to door just to introduce myself and say, hey, we're working with the St. Petersburg Airport. We're working with Staybridge Suites. We're working with certain brands in certain places like that. And we're confident that we can help you the same way we help them. And this is the reason why we do it. And this is the benefits that it's going to have for your business. We usually, sometimes if we get a pushback, we'll say, listen, try it for a week, try it for 2 weeks at no cost. And if you don't see the customer walking in and saying, wow, what is that? It smells so good in here, we take it back. But we've seen it happen where that's usually the reaction.
Okay. So boots on the ground.
Yeah,
Still continues to be a tried and true method.
Definitely. I mean, I met you at the Visit Tampa Bay event.
Yes.
And you just, told me what you did. Immediately, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, everybody needs this. And
thank you.
I mean, Kevin and I have talked. Yep. It's a common thing that a lot of people talk about. You walk in a place and it doesn't smell just right, and you want it to. I am big on first impressions. I want clients to come in here and have a good first impression right off the bat. Like, I know as soon as you walk in a doorway, you're making a judgment. And everything that we can do to make that a positive thing is what I like to do. So, like I said, as soon as you said what you did, I'm like, oh, we got to talk to this guy.
Thank you.
Because it is, I mean, it's wildly important. Can I ask you something, too? So we talk about, like, with the film industry and the future and what that holds for us with AI development and there's this, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's text to video AI, which is going to like possibly put videographers in a really hard spot.
Okay.
Is there anything that has the market been changing in any way for you that makes you worry about how scent can be developed in the industry? Or is there anything that's changed that's going to make your industry way better that we might not know about?
So from a development point of view, and just from an overall as the scent industry, where it is now and where it's going, so we're actually feel like we're in a very good place. So back when I first started, scent wasn't so much on everybody's radar. At this point in time, it's almost as if the hotel industry especially, it's almost industry standard where if you don't have a scent in your hotel, you're just kind of missing the boat, right?
Yeah.
We always say you only get one chance to make a first impression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And everybody's that's a common phrase that's been used for quite some time now. When you lose that opportunity, it's gone forever. So in the past, people have put so much thought into, well, what's the lighting going to be like in my environment? Should we play music? What type of music should we play? What color should we paint the walls? There's a reason why you don't paint the walls bright red, because people are going to have an emotional reaction to it.
Hey,
that's not bright red. But that's good. But I'm saying,
Great.
all the walls.
I'm just saying, you said red, I see red.
What is the emotional reaction?
Okay.
What do you know that we don't know
yellow.
about red?
So, well, for instance, we work with the Miami-Dade jail.
Yep.
And there's a reason why the walls in the jail are painted baby blue or pink.
Yep.
Because it has a calming emotion,
Yes.
okay? So this is invigorating. For your brand, it's on brand. It
Correct.
makes sense.
Correct.
Right?
I'm aware of what the potential negative connotation of our color palette is, but we negate that in a lot of ways. We also have a steel blue that we play off of a lot of times and lean into whites and blacks as well. But yeah, no, I get it. I'm cracking a joke with you, but I 100% understand.
So the point I was trying to make really is that you took some thought and had awareness of how the color palette of the walls are going to affect the people that are walking into the room. So previously, everybody, gives a lot of thought into all these different aspects of developing the environment, but they didn't realize that scent is the strongest tool you have to connect with your customer. So as far as the future goes, it seems like we like to think that in 10 years, there's not going to really be a single business that doesn't try to incorporate some type of fragrance or use scent the same way they would decide what paint they're going to put on the walls or what the lighting would be like.
Yeah.
What did your industry look like, 10, 20 years ago? Was it even close to what it is now?
Close. I don't think it was close. I think it more focused on really just making places smell good. It didn't focus on, so now it's more for us, it's a multi-sensory experience. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we're tying in the scent with the color scheme, okay, with the brand. We're tying everything together, so it's kind of like a multi-pronged effect. So in other words, if you're a company and you have a scent that you want to increase food sales, it's not a matter of just putting in a scent that's going to stimulate appetite. It's about putting in that scent that's going to stimulate appetite and then also have a sign over here that says food this way, right, with a picture. So, and then there may be some type of auditory implementation that's going to go along with that.
You're using the science of multisensory direction, if you will.
Exactly right, yes. So, yeah, it's a true multi-sensory approach. And then the other element that we've implemented more recently is that it's more of a branding thing. So it's not just about making it smell good. We want our clients to be able to have a net positive result from working with us. So in addition to making it smell nice, when you walk into, I'm just giving an example, let's say if you walk into the Staybridge Hotel in St. Petersburg, right? You walk in, you say, oh my God, it smells so amazing in here. What is that? You don't say, oh, well, that's Air Essentials scent, whatever. That's the Staybridge Hotel signature scent, yep, or the floor downtown in Tampa. So they just implemented a huge scent program with us. Mm. And when you walk into that lobby, it just smells incredible.
Yeah. You
right?
associate it with them now.
Correct. So when they ask, say, what is that? You know, you don't say it's Air Essentials. You say, well, that's the floor signature scent. And then there's branding products such as reed diffusers and candles. So what happens is the customer or guest will purchase those. So it allows you to be net positive on the scent program. But then the most powerful thing about scent is that when you take that home with you and you light that candle, you smell that smell again. So I could look at a picture of Tampa and say, oh, that reminds me of when I visited Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah.
I had a great time there. But because scent is so strongly tied to memory, that when you smell that you encountered when you were in Tampa Bay, you're not just reminded of the experience that you've had, but you are also feeling, the way our brains work, it lets off all these endorphins and all these things in our body that makes us actually literally feel the feelings we had when we were in that experience. And that's extremely powerful. And that, for a hotel especially, will make them want to return more often. So they feel that feeling like, oh, I want that again.
Man, this sounds crazy, but I had chills for a second because I was thinking about, like, my wife and I took a trip to Montana. And I'm like, man, what I would give to just get that experience here somehow. And I'm like, I could just get the right candle.
That
when
ties
my
it all
wife gets
together.
home,
Yep.
flick that lighter, burn that thing. And she's like, wow, I love you, honey. You know? I'm like, this is what we need to do. That's so crazy. Can you tell me what's the craziest scent that you've ever had someone ask you for?
So
I don't even know what crazy would mean in this situation. But
well,
what
I
is
mean,
it?
so while there's a lot of positive sides to scents and how they can evoke positive emotions, there's also certain scents that can be required for training purposes.
Oh.
So, for instance, there's scents of war. Okay, so
No
there's
way.
nothing more traumatizing to veterans and people and soldiers and just people in our military than the scent of war. I mean, just the words, the sense of war, you can only imagine how
Yeah.
horrible those scents must be. And I haven't served, and I'm grateful for the people who have. But, you know, that's an element that goes, I believe, into the training that helps them deal with those types of things. And then also lately, on a lighter note, we've been getting a lot of requests for dinosaur poop, dinosaur breath, dinosaur-related scents. And we're in the process of developing a little bit and tweaking it here and there. But there's a lot of these dinosaur theme parks.
Yep.
And
But what is even like? How do you even get the start smell? Like, what are you going back to?
So we kind of reverse engineer it. So you have to think about what did dinosaurs eat, right? Because whatever's coming out that end had to have come in this end, right? So
crazy.
we try to reverse engineer it a little bit and get into some other animals that we're familiar with what feces smell like, right? So
Can
and
you
then we
imagine
take
the
it from there.
R&D guys that that came in Monday morning for their 9 a.m. meeting? Oh, hey, I just finished a project last week. Let's see what I'm going to be assigned this week. And next thing you know, there's like, you know, the boss man hands him a piece of paper and he's like, you're going to love this. And he's like,
yeah.
wait, for real?
Thank God for that
Go home
PhD in
smelling
chemistry,
like
right? I'm so glad I went to college.
all that hard work.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh my God. How do we go from this beautiful Montana smell to dinosaur poop?
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, speaking about smells and scents, you've brought a collection for us, but you've pulled aside 5 that hopefully don't smell like war or anything along those lines.
Dinosaur poop.
Definitely not.
Breath.
Kevin and I don't know what scents they are. So if you want to open one up, and we'll see if we can guess.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm a
start with
terrible.
Kevin.
I'm a terrible guesser.
You can push that mic all the way out of your way if you need
I am
to.
a terrible guesser. We're gonna just roll into.
All right, we're going to start with one. No pressure that I think you,
Oh,
Mr. Dillon, should definitely get.
Okay.
I don't want you to say what it is, you guys.
Oh, I don't. I'm guessing too.
So we'll guess after you smelled it.
Oh, I immediately.
so we'll both smell first.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I immediately have that.
I don't have it.
I feel great.
Do I guess first?
If you like to. It's up to you guys. It's your show.
I'm locking my answer in. I have whatever you say. I know what I'm saying.
Is it a bagel?
It is a coffee bean.
Coffee bean.
I got that immediately. Immediately.
I
Coffee
went
bean.
bagel, and I have coffee with my bagel. You brought me back to a memory here.
Oh, that is funny. No, I had that immediately.
Yeah.
That felt. I mean,
You're exactly
that
right.
was amazing.
Man, really? Wow. I like it, but I went bagel.
All right. 1 for 1.
Okay.
All right, Dylan. No pressure now.
So he's smelling it right now?
I think I got that one too.
Do you? Okay.
I think I have
let's
that
see.
one too.
Really? I'm so bad at it.
I thought I was gonna be terrible. I mean, I might have only gotten one right. So let's find out.
This is an easy one, but it's not on the top of my head.
I'll wait for you. Hey, my man,
It's the one we all have at home, right? It's
potentially.
Not in my home.
no.
But it can grow, I guess. You tell me. You want to smell it again?
Yes, please.
Take your time. Don't overthink it. It's not, you got this.
No. Overthink it.
Let's see.
Overthink it.
Just my mind goes.
Let those gears just go into overdrive.
You already have your answer.
I have it. I'm
my
locked
mind
in.
goes to like a
Say it.
calming place.
Oh, I felt very calm smelling it, but I know what it is.
It's a plant, right? Is it? What's the one you peel open and you get the stuff out of that's good for your skin?
Aloe?
Aloe?
Aloe? Is it aloe?
It's not aloe.
Peppermint.
Peppermint, correct.
Dang, come on, bro.
2 for 2.
You went too simple for me.
Okay.
Look, if you give me something complex, I'll get it. I'll be like,
Oh,
this is
that is.
this is
let's try this one.
before Christ. That's what this is. I need to refresh my palate. All right, he's smelling it. He doesn't have this one.
I don't have this one.
So this one's a little bit more complicated.
Okay.
This
is my bag right
I'm
now.
not 100% in love with that smell.
Okay.
It's an okay smell, but I would not say that I.
And this may be more familiar to some people.
I was gonna say from the terrible, bad, okay, I like, I love scale. I'm probably right in the middle at okay with the smell.
Sure.
This one's giving me beachy hotel vibes.
This is definitely not one of my favorites. I will say that. But
So me
you
categorizing
might
it
have
as
smelled
okay.
this in some. You might have come in contact with this someplace.
It's a
someplace else.
cleaning agent, right? Am I close?
It's not really a cleaning agent.
I mean, he's
'cause we
giving
don't
you
really have sense of
nothing.
cleaning.
He's giving you nothing.
So you might have smelled it in a supermarket restroom.
It's the urinal cleaner?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not the urinal cleaner. All right. So you guys, you want to hazard a guess?
You're 100%
I mean-
right. I have smelled this in a supermarket restroom.
Some sort of lemon.
Green apple.
Green apple.
So I think Publix. We don't work with Publix right now, but I think they have this. This is like the flavor of every time I go to the restroom at Publix. Not that happens that often. If I do, it smells
that's
like
crazy.
green
I
apple.
could see why you
know-
wouldn't like
and
it
I
if it
noticed
brings
it,
you there.
obviously.
I absolutely love green apples.
And it didn't hit you?
Wow.
It did not hit me.
When you
I
said
love
restroom,
green apples.
it
Like
made me think urinal.
it's one of those that like anytime. I mean, I will buy 2 green apples at Publix, Walmart, wherever if I'm walking in the food aisle and I'm. Maybe the wife sends me there for strawberries and blueberries for the kids, and I'm walking by. I'm grabbing myself 2-3 green apples.
Never in
every
my
time.
life.
All right.
Love green apple.
Hate
That did not hit
No
me.
Granny
That's
Smiths.
crazy. That's crazy. All right.
All right. Okay. All right. This one,
I'm trying.
We have a couple-
I
we have
don't know what to do.
a couple of somewhat acceptable answers on this one.
Oh, man.
my
Is this
gun.
number 5?
This
Four?
is number 4.
I'm 0 for 4 right now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, he's smelling.
Oh
he's
man,
getting
it is on the
wafts.
tip of my tongue.
That's how I feel for half of them. It's like,
So a lot of times it takes some practice to be able to kind of put what you're smelling into words.
Yeah, like a
We're just not used to it. Yeah, it's just something that we're not comfortable. We're just not familiar with doing. So it's kind of like the smell will register in the brain.
it's vanilla. Yeah? Let's go.
So this is a vanilla with a hit vanilla cinnamon.
Let's go.
There you go.
Finally.
Good job, my friend.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, 100%. Now that I know what it is, like I get
Yeah.
it. But it smelled good immediately. I just couldn't put my finger on it. But okay.
I got the cinnamon out of it, but I'm like I'm leaning more this way.
Yeah.
This
All
is
right.
more vanilla bean for me.
All
And
right,
a
so-
lot of times, what I like to do is when I'm going through samples with some with customers and clients, is I don't like to give them the name. I'll number 1, 2, 3, and 4 because if it says vanilla cinnamon or vanilla, dark vanilla, and they read it before they smell it,
They're already getting an impression.
the
Yeah.
way our brain works is they're gonna be guided towards that.
Yep.
So if they smell vanilla, cedarwood, and sage, and even though there's a whisper of jasmine in there, they won't smell the jasmine.
So when you're making a scent from someone, when you make the scent for someone, do you make it based off of what they like, or are you looking at it from an aspect of what would your clients like?
It's it's what would our clients? We're making the scent with the purpose in mind, to try to see what is the purpose of implementing the scent. Is it to create a first impression? Is it to make customers linger longer and spend more money in your store? Is it create the feeling of home? What is the purpose? What do you guys want to get out of us working with you? What's the goal?
I'm trying.
He got a good smell.
But always, it's what our clients prefer and what they want. We'll always interject with our expertise on what we think is best, but at the end of the day, it's what they prefer.
All right, I'm locking in my answer. I'm not that confident in it. Well, I have to because you just blurted out the last one.
I needed one.
I'm not 100%, but
If you want to
I feel good about my answer. But
Okay.
You ready?
You ready?
Yeah.
Toffee?
Close.
Oh man, I'm way
Very
off.
close. Very close.
I'm so far off. I was gonna say sour beer,
Sour beer.
beer.
like a sour.
What does
you
it
know.
say?
Dun, dun,
Chocolate
dun.
brownie.
So now smell it.
Oh.
Chocolate brownie.
So
But I was
I should
getting
have said Guinness. I would have been
with
closer.
toffee. I was getting like some semblance of chocolate. I mean,
sure, savory sweets, kind
Yeah.
of desserty type of.
yeah, because a lot
substance,
of toffee. I just had toffee 2 nights ago with my wife, and was like a chocolate layered one. So
Yeah.
okay. I mean, yeah.
So
I need
All right,
these
you
in
guys
my
did
life.
well.
All right, so 2.5 out of 5 for me. I'm batting 500.
Yeah,
I'm giving myself half for the chocolate brownie just because there was
Yeah,
there's a
that's
semblance there.
acceptable.
No, you don't get
Sure.
half.
Yeah, I'm giving. You got -3.
I got one. I need to make it
And
one.
A for effort. Is that what they used to say?
Oh, congratulations! You got a gold star.
Thanks,
Participation
thank you. All right. So you said something off camera earlier, which everyone would think this right now. So we need coffee beans to refresh our palate, and you said that's not real. You're
So,
breaking the internet by saying
Coffee. Well, no. What it is that there have been studies, and I'm not a physicist or a chemist, but what happens is when you smell those coffee beans, is it really overwhelms and stimulates the olfactory bulbs. So, and coffee is a very robust aroma. So when you think about wine, think about how Pinot Noir versus Cabernet Sauvignon, there's different body styles, right?
Yep.
So those will hit the palate differently. It's the same way with fragrances. So there's certain fragrances that have heavier molecules of fragrance incorporated into them, and therefore they will linger longer on the olfactory bulbs. And coffee has been proven, in some cases, people say that it will overstimulate the olfactory bulbs or stick more so that it may make it more challenging to then. It's not really cleansing the nose.
Okay.
It's kind of more populating it in a greater way, and it makes you think that.
Interesting.
But really, the main thing that the way I was taught is that the only way to really cleanse the nose is through time. So after you've smelled about 5 of them, you just need to kind of take a break.
Oh,
and then
I
go back to
feel like completely
Yeah.
not. I don't feel like overwhelmed,
Right.
but I feel like my nose is just kind of done for a hot minute. Like I
Sure.
really kind of get that sensory feeling where like that's enough for now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like there's a little aroma around me that's making me very happy because a lot of those scents I do like. So
Excellent.
the emotional appeal is there.
Fantastic.
All right. With a lot that we do within our own business, I mean, we're creating marketing collateral, we're making sales, we're having to create content. We know we have a semblance of an idea of where our industry is going over the next 3 to 5 years. Where do you think your industry is going? Experimental sense, experimental marketing. Do you have any future prediction for where scent is going in the next 2, 3, 5 years?
So we see scent as just a constantly growing market. They're coming out with more and more multisensory experiences. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the got me. If you're familiar with the 4D movies.
Yep.
So these are the type of things that people are starting to experience. And then I think one thing that COVID taught us is that people are more nowadays into experiences and being more immersed in the experience and more realistic experience.
Great question now.
So
have you thought about, or is your industry going to start working in the virtual realities industry? So I've got like these Meta Oculus goggles, and I've been doing VR.
Sure.
And I mean, the immersion is insane, but it does just smell like the office or my house or whatever it is. Is your industry tapping into that market at all?
So in reference to the actual Oculus headsets, we have not tapped into that.
Okay.
I think it's more of an individualistic thing, and because there's so many different variables that come into play as far as the different games, I think that there would be some challenges as far as that goes. That being said, when you're talking about something like a 4D movie or where there's a hologram of a performer from the past who's passed away, and they're putting on a performance for you, there are different ways that we are tapping into, or actually in the process right now, with research and development on how to implement those scents. And it's really a lot about timing. So it has to be timed perfectly, and it has to really coordinate with the multisensory visual and auditory cues to be able to make sure that it all works together. But the short answer to the question is yes, we are definitely in development right now, and we anticipate that being completed, I imagine, by early to middle of 2025 at the latest.
Wow.
Okay.
So just kind of getting all those things aligned.
That's soon. Have you read the book Unreasonable Hospitality?
I have not.
You got okay. Highly recommend it to you. I think it would be great for you. But it's a book about going the extra mile with clients. So the author worked in the hospitality industry, worked in restaurants, and they did little things like if you were a patron and you were coming in, you had to park where there's a parking meter. They would ask you, they would train their staff to ask you, where'd you park? Oh, we parked on the meter over here. Oh, you did? I'm going to go quietly, I'm going to go put 50 cents in your meter and extend your time here so you don't have to worry or be in a rush and you can just hang out. And something like that was reflecting so big on the clients, the patrons, like, oh, wow, now there's a little less stress. Now we don't have to worry. Now we're not in a rush. For the business, it's like the writer had realized we can do something so little and inexpensive. I mean, I guess 50 cents over years would add up, but that can change everyone's mentality and really increase our sales and things like that. Obviously, you're taking a route similarly. You're adding sense into businesses and you're kind of enhancing the experience. Is there even smaller things within your industry or things that you do in particular as an individual to go the extra mile for businesses or your clients? Like something
Absolutely.
that people would never think you do, but you do it.
So that is probably the pillar of our company, is customer service. And the way we treat our accounts, the way we treat people. I know that when I was on the other side of the fence, there was nothing more frustrating when you would reach out to a vendor and they were non-responsive. So when you work with us, if I'm your account executive, then obviously you're going to have my cell phone number. We know that people work Saturdays, people work Sundays. If you need something on a Saturday or Sunday, you call me, you text me, you email me, whatever's best for you. We work, and it seems like the world has gone automated. And one of the great things about the company is that the president has always said that no matter what happens, if you call our headquarters, you'll always be able to speak to a human being. So you're not on hold, you're not prompting, you're not sitting there trying to press numbers and prompt to the right department. You're always going to get a live person that will pick up the phone.
I love that.
So that's one of the main things. And then aside from that, on a personal level, as somebody who used to work in the hospitality industry, I mean, I remember when I was bartending in Miami and somebody said, they were going on a boat the next day and they were worried about getting seasick, I would run around the corner and buy them Dramamine.
Yep.
Or if they seemed to be a little under the weather, I would run around the corner and buy them Halls or something,
Yep.
to kind of help them out. And that's really how I roll personally, and kind of how the company's part of the company's core values is that we pay it forward. We value people's business. We understand that there are other options out there. We definitely think that we're the best, and we prove it not just in our products, but definitely the customer service is above and beyond.
Well, it's the actions that speak louder than the words. I mean, that's just truth of the matter is if everybody recommends you, and that's the highest compliment you can get is someone recommending you, you know you did something right. So
Yeah,
it started with the communication component, execution, and then what happened after you executed.
Precisely.
It's not what you do, it's how people feel.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, I completely, I resonate so much with you on the automated email and, you know, lack of a response component.
Yeah, that hit too. Yeah.
I will respond to blind emails, cold calls. You know, we get asked, I probably get at least, no exaggeration, one person reaching out a week, sending their resume or their work and like, hey, if we can work with you. And I make it a point to respond to every single person because, in my opinion, they deserve a response, even if we're not hiring, even if what they're offering doesn't align with what we offer even our clients or what we have available, but they deserve a response as far as I'm concerned. And when we get an inquiry, when we get a past client, a new client, if I'm sitting in front of my laptop, my computer, and I do in fact have the 30 seconds to respond, I'll respond right then and there. And the amount of times I'll get oh wow, that was a very fast response, thanks for responding so quickly. Right. I'm like, because I technically have the time before my next task starts or before my next call starts. I'm just going to take care of this right now. Now, sometimes it takes me 2 days to get to an email because I quite literally wasn't in front of my computer for 2 days, right? But if I have that minute, I'm going to take care of it.
Sure.
And I sometimes get a little, I'm confused why people take so long to respond sometimes. We have clients that have told both of us, like, oh, we had a vendor before and they just kind of fell off and they took a while to respond or they didn't meet the deadline. And Dylan and I will both be like, well, we're very sorry that you had that experience. And let us prove to you that
sure.
You're not likely to have that experience with us.
Yeah, and like you said, actions definitely speak louder than words. And that's something you really can't teach in school, or it's just kind of, it's refreshing to meet other people that have those values and, put the theory into practice.
Yeah, I mean, we've failed once or twice, and that's what teaches.
Perfect,
and that's what teaches you, like, oh, hey, I didn't mean to fail. I did inadvertently take 3 days to respond to this person, and they're not wanting to work with us now. I get it, but then you realize like how to correct that and go, oh,
sure.
I did have 5 minutes 2 days ago, and I messed up thinking that I was going to get to it in an hour, and I didn't. I should have used that 5 minutes to respond.
I saw a quote on Instagram. They said, you didn't fail, you learned your lesson.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's quite accurate, actually. I like that a lot.
I like that one, too. I think I'm going to use that one.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it on Instagram. I made it up, guys.
If you read it on Instagram, it's definitely true.
Yeah. We put a little quote, Dylan Harmon.
Yeah, that's right. If I ever hear a quote and I want to say it's me, but I'm too afraid to take it, I just put unknown. I'm like, it could be anybody.
Yeah, and then it turns into yours. There you go.
Right. Well, Greg, I think that's the end of our time. I really appreciate you coming, sharing your knowledge.
Thank you.
And giving us some sense to test.
Love it.
Yeah. Thank you for putting, the soul into the business and showing people that there's higher levels that you can take everything that you do.
Yeah. I appreciate you taking the time, and I appreciate you both allowing me to talk more about what I do, because I really am passionate about it and I understand the value that it brings to businesses. Hopefully others learned a little bit today about how that can add some value to their businesses. And then if I could ever help you gentlemen in any way, shape, or form, I'd be insulted if you didn't ask.
No, I'd love to chat about it for sure. Could you just tell people who have hung around to the end where they can find you, where they can find your business, and how they can get in contact with you all?
Sure. So the best way to get in contact with myself, if you're in the Tampa, Orlando, St. Pete, Naples, Jacksonville, any area in this area, would be just directly on my cell phone. Give me a call, shoot me a text, and that number is area code 786 351-8027. You can also email me at Gregg, which is Gregg, Gregg, 2 G's at the end. So Gregg at Air, AirEssentials.com. So Gregg at airessentials.com, sent with a C. And then, of course, our website, which is www.airessentials.com. Once again, it's ESSCENTIALS.
And we'll put it in the description for everybody to make it easy to, they can just click and check you guys out too.
That would be
Can
fantastic.
we put your LinkedIn in the description as well?
Feel free.
Awesome. Well,
Why
thank
not?
you very much. I appreciate
It's
you.
been a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Greg.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's great.
All right, guys. That was another one. Take care.
See you.